36, discussion and action to approve the submission of a grant application to the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant for the procurement of ballistic vests for the Socorro Police Department.
Motion
The
to-
city's 50% match contribution is $3,400.
Motion to approve? Second.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Alejandra Valadez, Grants Coordinator. Our Socorro Police Department has requested the submission of this application in the amount of $6,800. Our match contribution is 50%, which is $3,400. This is for the procurement of 8 bulletproof vests from the Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program.
Question?
Aye.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had a question.
Ms. Villalobos?
Is that, is the grant only approving, you can only go up to 8 a certain amount of time?
No, so what we have to look for when we do grant language, and I'm working with Alejandra, is we need replacements, because you're not allowed to just put in for vests that you're not planning on replacing. My plant, right now, we're up to full strength with one hire if they come on now, but the future plans would allow us to hire for the next fiscal year. We'd be looking to hire 3 more that we already have financing for, and then one of our other grants will be COPS grant, which will be another 6, which should put us at where we're supposed to be as far as our patrol levels are concerned. And then I'll bring those numbers to you later on for a different discussion. But with that in mind, I would need about 8 vests for the future expansion of the police department. And we have to plan for the next fiscal year. So even though we're asking for it now, we won't see these funds until September, which means they're just in time for October and then our new budget. So.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Aye.
Yes.
Item number 37, discussion and action on request to waive the event permit fee for the Saints Peter and Paul Catholic Church to be held June 21st to 23rd, 2019.
Motion to approve?
Second.
And just, this is for a nonprofit organization.
Yes, that's correct, sir. So the item before you is to waive the event permit to allow for the facility to come in and have the event on June 21st, 22nd, 23rd of this year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
And I'm sorry, I meant to ask, how about safety?
So as part of the component is that they may be required to have a traffic control plan. And so when we view the application, all that would be reviewed as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Item number 38, discussion and action to approve safety modifications to administration building located at 124 South Horizon, Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve? Second.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In March, we had an incident, maybe around 4:55. We had an individual walking into our administration building, lock the door, and go sit where Norma sits in the reception area. He was under the influence. Mr. Charlie was there and witnessed the situation, but it kind of brought to perspective of how vulnerable we are and where we have no protection for Norma. Like, there's no barriers, it's straight contact. So based on that, I know that during our budget amendment, we talked a little bit about the ADA modifications that we want to do for this building. And if you can look at the picture that's attached to your backup, we're thinking of putting a window where Norma sits, where there's not a direct, and a wooden door. You know how her door is halfway? Mm-hmm. We want to put a wooden door just like there is to go into the back offices. She'll have the same door, and we would have to have a badge in order for us to go in there.
Okay.
We also want to include a door going out to the patio. That way, if she needs to escape, she can, and there's an exit for her. Through that, I mean, she was there, vulnerable, standing right next to him. And I mean, she did really well. I think they maintained their cool, but it was a very scary situation. I looked at the video footage, and it was alarming, and I was very surprised of how they handled it. And because of that, I did not want to just go and make the changes. I wanted to bring to council and just get your approval. That way, if you start seeing some changes in the admin, you don't think, well,
Mr.
go
Perez?
ahead.
I don't even know if, no, it might even, it's not even ADA compliant. No, I was even thinking maybe having some kind of, like a, even like a, not the, a reception desk type thing, or, a cubicle, or I don't know what you wanna call it. But then again, it would be the same, type of, security issue.
So we would close it with plexiglass, and then she would have to open
Okay.
the window. And that would allow her time that if she sees danger, she's able to the exit,
Like a
the
teller window
back
kind of
door.
thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
But some type of protection, because right now she doesn't have any protection, and that really brought, how vulnerable we are there in that building.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
How much
Ms.
more
Villalobos?
would, I'm sorry, how much more would it be for like it's not a big window, but a bulletproof window?
The bulletproof windows are pretty pricey.
Yeah, so, the police department where I came from has a 6x6 bulletproof vest, and bulletproof glass, and that was $10,000.
But the plexiglass is pretty.
So so I looked at, Mr. Rodarte asked me to come over and take a look. One of my certifications is in crime prevention through design. Also, I have national certifications in active shooter, active violent events. So my recommendation was to make the doorway, so we looked at cost, right? So make the doorway as solid as you can, so it presents a barrier. You put a clear barrier in front, and if you talk about half-inch plexiglass, you can't just break through that, because it'll actually give. Even if I pick up a chair or a hammer, all I'm gonna do is star it or cause it to have marks in it. I can't physically get through. So what I'm looking for is a barrier that allows that person then to escape out of the backside. And all we're looking to do is give her 15 to 30 seconds, because that's all it's gonna take to get out of that building.
Mr. Rodriguez?
How long ago was this incident?
In March.
In March. So my question is, I think we should give our city manager some leeway, because since March, so, even the time passes. What if we get another incident? I think to save an employee's life, or anybody's life, period, I think that, I know she's trying to do the best and trying to be transparent as possible, but I think that they should do that in-house, and then just let us know while they're doing it, because the more time passes, you never know. You never know. And it's nothing that you're gonna, but I mean, it's something that as time goes on, you don't know if another incident might occur. I think that this is something that's gonna help, our staff, because I don't think that we should wait for us to make a decision when she always, even though there's after the fact, they'll always present it to us. I think that a situation like this should merit to start doing something. Yes, it's time sensitive. I'm just saying that for the next time, I think we should let our city manager just do something immediate,
For the
and then
safety
let us
of-
know, yes,
Maybe
for
it's
the
a
safety.
safety and security issue. yes.
Safety, yes.
Ms. Villalobos?
I would like to add a panic button.
Yes.
Okay, and the other thing is, if you hit that panic button, somebody's gonna come from that door. They can't see through. We need to have some kind of a glass door or little window that you can see out, but not in, from the hallway where the other offices are at. This way, we keep everybody safe. So I'd like to see something like that.
So if you're gonna make a decision about a panic button, there's just two things that go with that. Number one, where does it go? And number two, what is the message that that panic button sets? So you can get canned overhead messages that if I push a button that says the building's gone into lockdown, or you can get, there's an intruder in the building, you can get that kind of message, or it'll trigger an alarm on the inside, but then you have to have follow-up training as to what your staff is supposed to do if that panic button goes up.
Well, I think Norma should have, literally, she has to pick up the phone, dial you guys, and if nobody's answering, where's her help? Where is her help? So her button would be, I have a situation, it's, up front, Can I get some assistance? I don't know, you guys come up with a plan, but that door that comes in on the hallway has no way of knowing who's on the other side. And if they send Mr. Superhero, Mr. Cristiano,
Well, we
out
also
there, yeah.
talked a little bit about having maybe a monitor like where Mr. Casiano's office is at, or maybe mine, so we can know exactly what's happening
Oh.
up in the front.
There you go.
Because sometimes, what if she's not able to give us even no time? At least we know what's happening, him or I.
Mr. Perez?
Well, we already have cameras in the foyer area. Couldn't they be just reconnected to?
Correct. Yes, and it's just putting the monitors. Before, when I came in, there was already monitors. So the system has always had video cameras. However, it was being used to see who was coming in order to see what we're doing inside. And, oh, okay, Representative at Large, let's all run and get to work. That was how it was used when I started working there. It was more of a, let me see who's walking in order to either walk away from the patio, or, so what we did is move those monitors into the middle section where the actual system works. And we couldn't just replay. It has to go through the process of, you have to open a gate. But because of this incident, I think it's necessary that either I or both of us have a monitor so we all can know what's going on in the front.
But what happens when you're both out?
Well, no, I mean, we would have he can't be out if I'm out, not really. That's just part of the deal, no, not really. We would come up with a
With a plan.
solution for
Well,
that,
I
yes.
guess,
A
can you
contingent
transfer
plan.
it over to the police department?
No, what you can do is you can make, so monitors have improved in technology. They're no longer required to be hardwired. You can IP address them. Esteban has done that for us at Chayo. So anybody with a computer can actually IP in. It doesn't have to be specifically to an office.
Okay.
So we would have a contingency plan in case we were both out.
That would be nice, yes.
So I would just like to just say the same thing is, when a situation like this happens, I think we give her a little bit of leeway just to do what she needs to be done so that everybody could be safe. And then she could just come back and let us know what she's doing, and for what reasons. Okay?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 39, discussion and action to approve opposing revenue caps. I was approached by County Judge Samaniego, who's organizing with the rural mayors. And as the smaller cities, there's been a lot of legislation right now underway, coming up. And so we've been asked to see if we can approve sending some letters of support or letters in opposition. And so I just wanted to kind of bring some of these lists or some of the bills that have been presented to us and to ask council for direction. We can either agree to support along with the other municipalities, or we can choose to wait until next year, until the next legislation session when we're a little bit more prepared. But for now, I know it's last minute. The last day of session is May 27th. So we're already like in the last few days, but there are still some letters that are being sent out, and I wanted to see how council would like to proceed. Mr. Rodriguez?
Okay, I'm gonna make my motion. So, I make my motion to send the letter to approve and oppose the letters, which is the letters that they're saying, we oppose these, and we wanna send also letters that say we approve these. I have some reservations on two, but I'm just for the sake, I'm just gonna say, just straight down the line and show solidarity and just get it over with. I just wanna give me my two little bits where we need to start going out there because we've lost on annexation. We're losing on the tax cap. So those are things that we have to address later on in the next coming session. So I would just say just to prove it and
That's the motion.
yeah.
Ms. Villalobos?
Ms. Mayor, on these, letters and these, items, what is, your understanding of these, of the opposed and the supporting,
So,
Manuel?
so item 39, which is the one that we're on now, is to oppose the revenue caps,
Mhm.
which in a bunch of the TML meetings we have been talking about this. It's gonna hurt smaller cities because we're gonna not be able to control the tax rate. And then I'll go ahead and discuss a little bit more on 40.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Item 40, discussion and action to approve, support, or oppose letters to a list of 2019 legislative positions that the City of Horizon has identified. And for this one, the City of Horizon has graciously shared some of the House bills or legislation bills that they have specifically that they have reservations on or that they would like to oppose, support or oppose. These are the ones that Horizon sent to us, but we did have a conference call with Vinton and other municipalities, and generally everybody's on the same position. There's just all sorts of varieties of issues that are coming up, but these are the ones that were handpicked by Horizon because they affect the smaller municipalities more than bigger cities.
Mayor,
Mr. Rodriguez?
this is the motion that I wanted to do prior than the other one, because this is the one that has a bunch. Even though it's Horizon, Horizon has somebody that goes out there and looks at the bills that are gonna be affected. That's something that we need to address and look at. But this is the one that I have some reservations, these. But just because it will harm us on some, the majority of them, I think that we should just go with it and send the approvals or denial letters.
I have a question.
Ms. Villalobos?
Mr. Medina, I know there's some of them have to do with, possibly planning and zoning, some of our ordinances here. Have you had the opportunity to look at what they're trying to, is this opposing or?
So I know
Support
Mr.
or
Medina hasn't
support.
had the opportunity to look at these bills. However, I read up on a couple of them. So, like the building and material one, they're wanting to take the power of the smaller municipalities to be able to tell the developers what materials they have to use. Meaning, take away or preclude us from enforcing and just letting the building code dictate how they're gonna build these homes. So that's
That's an
the stuff
opposing.
that they're trying to oppose, the comprehensive plan. So they're trying just to take a lot of the power that the municipalities currently has, and they're trying to just
Impose what the big
strip us,
cities have.
strip us from that and allow us. So that's why they're asking, smaller municipalities to come in and oppose those bills.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know, but that's the motion that I wanted to do the first one. Cause no,
Make your motion.
yeah, so I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Yeah.
I would say to approve one, because the agenda item says to approve, support, or oppose letters.
Okay, it's cause there's
Okay.
different items, Jim, okay, let's specify. There's different items that, and not all of them are gonna, they're letters of support, but there's also, there's some letters of disapproval. So,
So,
the item, that was,
okay. So then we're talking about the Horizon, the one that, okay, so within this document, there are positions of support and positions of opposition.
yes,
So then maybe the motion could be that we, as a city, mirror the oppositions and
Perfect.
supports.
perfect.
That
I'll second
Horizon
that
is-
motion.
Beautiful.
Yes, I'll second that motion.
What a little dinner can do.
Right, Ms. Villalobos?
Ms. Rodarte, you had the opportunity to preview. Is there anything here that you disagree with
No.
Horizon? No?
No, most of the items that they brought up, and I gave Mayor a list. There's a whole thing that TML has, that I've been reading up on. And most of the things that are identified in that paperwork is what's identified here.
Okay.
And I'm in conjunction with the city of Horizon and opposing or supporting the different bills that they're. And I can email you that information.
Yes, please. Okay.
That way everybody's aware.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Discussion and action, item number 41, discussion and action to approve opposing HJE 3.
Motion to approve for discussion.
Second.
This one was a letter that we got sent by Commissioner's Court. And as you can see, it has already been signed regarding their position on this. And so they're asking for the smaller municipalities to mirror their decision on this legislation. Ms. Ugarte?
And I just want to add that this actual bill is to increase the sales tax that we are supposed to pay, and the Commissioner's Court is concerned that it might affect people low income, because they're asking the increase, the 1 penny sales tax increase would raise the state's portion to 7.25, and in most communities such as El Paso, bring the total to a 9.25%. This would catapult, there you go, us to the same level as states like California. So they're asking us to
Oppose the tax
So
increase.
by that would also increase the cost of living.
everything across the board.
And that would be devastating, if it's
To
devastating for
El
El Paso,
Paso.
it'd be devastating for Socorro residents.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to go into executive?
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
8:29, we're now in executive session.